Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Holly and Sharon are in the house.
Happy Friday.
Yes. Happy Friday. Hey, happy full moon and full blood moon, lunar eclipse moon in Virgo, all of that good stuff.
It's also Pi Day 3.14.
That's right. It is, isn't it? I saw a little blurb about that and I didn't understand what it was, but now I understand. Okay. Thank you.
It's one of those nerdly references. Kind of like May the 4th be with you day on May 4th.
Or what's the other one? 420? Is it 420?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One of my national holidays. Just kidding.
So, hey, everyone. Good to see you. Christine, hello. Christine, good to see you. Another gathering of beautiful souls with Holly included. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
You can't see the moon in this weather. I know. We were just talking about that. Christine's in Corvallis.
Okay.
So not that far.
Yep.
Although Holly did see the eclipse last night. Holly, share that.
Yeah. I was super excited because I haven't seen a lunar eclipse in over a decade, I think, because living in the Pacific Northwest, it's always a bit of a crapshoot if you're going to have clear skies that night. And usually it involves having to wake up at some ungodly hour, and setting an alarm and all of that. And I read an article about, you can see it in North America and it's going to be a totality at like 2:25 a.m. and thought, okay, I'm going to set an alarm and hope that there's no clouds. And then I remembered how terrible I am with numbers and like the number dyslexia and all kinds of weird stuff I have. And I thought I better check that again. And it was 2:25 a.m. on the East Coast, which is only like 11:25 over here, which is not even an annoying time. And
No.
we were able to see it. And so I kind of went out and was like, wait a minute, am I wrong? And I went and looked out and was like, I'll be damned, there's an eclipse happening right there. So my husband and I were not yet asleep, but we were in bed. And I said, nope, get up. Time to go back to the living room and got to watch this. You have the only good camera, so you have to take pictures. And then I cleansed my cards in the eclipse. And then I did both of us eclipse readings, which were really awesome. So I think we're going to have some, anytime you have a full moon and anytime you have eclipse energy, the readings are like, so we might have a very interesting session here.
I'm sure we will. Nice. That's awesome. Hey, Michelle, good to see you too. Yeah, I was able to see the full moon last night. It was about 10:30, but I didn't for some reason it didn't snap that it was a lunar eclipse last night. We were going to see it here. I didn't do enough research.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm bummed out about that, but oh well.
It's always like kind of confusing too when it's going to be at whatever time of night. You're like, wait, is it technically this day or is it the early morning hours of the next day? And yeah, it's easy to miss, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we don't, we don't hear a lot about it in the news kind of thing. We have to actually look for it.
Yeah. We have to do our own homework.
We do. I put it on my calendar normally in new moon, full moon, since we do this type of thing on here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so, but we get busy. We get active. What I'm doing is I'm changing the word from busy to active.
Ooh, I like that. I like
because
that.
Busy to me makes me think that I have too much to do, but I prefer active because that's how I want my life, active. Because I called all this in.
True. I have a similar thing that I say that's kind of the opposite of when I feel I'm too busy and I need to stop putting more stuff on my plate. It's really hard sometimes to give yourself permission to not do a bunch of more stuff. And then you feel bad about it or you feel guilty unnecessarily. So my new phrase is that for some reason makes me feel less guilt for saying, no, I'm not going to do that, is I don't have that within my spirit.
There you go.
So it doesn't have to do with, do I have enough energy? Do I technically have the time? Whatever. I don't have that within my spirit. And then somehow that covers all the bases. And I'm like, yeah, nope, not going to do it. So
I love that. Just don't have room for that in my spirit.
no.
Totally. Yeah, when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, like I can't, if I don't, because every day I like to write down what my to-dos for my tasks for the day. Because I'll forget them if I don't. And when you're running your own business, you have to stay on task with stuff. And and if I feel a little overwhelmed, like I haven't got through them, I hear my guidance say, go take a break, go do whatever, go for a walk, whatever. It'll still be there when you get back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better to do things with a fresh brain and better energy.
Yeah.
I've been very stacked up myself, and I have to just give myself permission because I work a day job and do my side business. And so there's some long weeks happening. And sometimes I have to say, you can't work on taxes after you worked an 8-hour job, and do it with a fresh brain this weekend when you're not working your day job, and
Right. Yeah.
work smarter, not harder. That's what I'm trying to do more and more of in my life everywhere.
Nice. So hello, Diva Dasi. Hello. Michelle, you said you saw the moon this morning from the Washington coast. Oh, nice. I bet that was beautiful over the coast. Yeah. So Christine loves your divider.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So anything you want to share about the readings tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got I did my homework for our full moon eclipse readings, full moon in Virgo. And I also have some other events to share maybe later in the session here of in-person events that I have coming up around in the Oregon coast area. But so we have full moon, total lunar eclipse at 23 degrees Virgo. I do not pretend to know what the 23 degrees means, but we're in Virgo. And Virgo's an earth sign. I have a lot of friends that are Virgos. I think me being a triple Cancer. Oh, hello, fellow Virgo. I think me being a triple Cancer and being all very woo. I need like these Virgo people in my life to like ground me or give me structure or form. And so multiple best friends I've had have been Virgos actually. And it's funny because it's not necessarily, you don't think Virgo and Cancer necessarily are going to be like, attracting one another, but I tell you, I need my Virgos. So Virgo is going to be earth, and that is about kind of bringing things down to earth and putting practicality into how we're manifesting things on a physical level. So everyone hears a lot about solar eclipses. It's kind of, the mainstream eclipse. The cooler underground eclipse is the lunar eclipse.
Right.
Solar eclipses are much more focused on our outward public self and public life. Lunar eclipses are focused on our inward self, our kind of our subconscious versus the conscious part of ourselves, and our inner lives. And honestly, all of that watery goodness. The moon controls water, and we are whatever percentage of water, right? So when we've got a super moon or a full moon or an eclipse, like I can never sleep during a full moon. I always get terrible sleep when it's a full moon because I feel like it's just waking us up. So we've got this full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. So it's kind of taking the wateriest, most vulnerable parts of ourselves and let's put it into practicality in physical form, which means we may have to let go of some things. So I really enjoy this astrology blog that I get. I'm on their email list. It's called Astro Butterfly. And so they say that basically this is a bit more, this particular eclipse is kind of about this has run its course and it's time to move on. So whatever we're doing that's not working, the eclipse is here to illuminate what's going on that's not working. And in a practical Virgo sense, what we need to let go of to be more practical about what we're manifesting. So it's kind of the difference between ideals versus reality.
Mhm.
So this is a subject that I think comes up in our lives many times, and we need to keep aware of it because it will help us. So, it's kind of like, I was trying to think of some examples in my life of this would be like when I was in my first marriage that was not a good one and needed to end. And I had all these ideals about, well, this has to happen and this will happen and then this will work. And I held on to those ideals for a very long time. And there was a lot of extenuating circumstances that also, was in the mix of that thought process. But at the end of the day, none of those things were going to work. And those were all just ideals. And they were not practical and they weren't based in reality. They were based in fantasy. So things like that are kind of, perhaps what we need to recognize with this eclipse is what might we be doing that's not actually serving us, and what's the more practical solution that we can help ourselves with.
I love that. Yeah. And we do on this channel, we do a full moon and new moon ritual. And we do write down what we want to release during a regular full moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we want to manifest. And new moon is really good for bringing in the new energies. But yeah, with the eclipse, I can imagine how powerful that is. It's like a big portal opens up for you, and yeah, releasing. That's interesting what you say about ideals, is because when we want to release something that has to do with others, that we can't control how other people are reacting or what their role is in the situation. So that's a really good point.
Yeah. I have learned in my years of doing tarot and just healing, things like closure, I think, are just kind of a fantasy. Or, when we get hung up on things like that, and then we say, oh, I'm still have this big raw open wound because I never got closure. Why? Like, give yourself the closure, because if you're if you're waiting on someone else to give you closure, you're giving them that power. So give yourself that closure and move on. Validate yourself.
Cut the cords.
Yeah, absolutely. Burn the cords.
Cut the cords, burn the cords, get on, move on. Don't carry that baggage with you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Christine, yeah. I know, me too. I love the moon rituals. Yeah. Hopefully you did your homework last night for the moon rituals when it was the complete full, because I didn't have a chance to do that, to be here, because we were doing this tonight and I was doing a different show last night. But yeah, if you haven't, don't forget.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Diane. Hey, Jiao. Hopefully I'm saying that your name correctly. Joao.
It's a cool
All
name.
right. Yeah, it is. Are you ready? Who wants to go first? Unless you want to share something else.
No, I think we've got kind of the right context now to apply to these readings, but we can do kind of full moon eclipse readings if anybody wants. So we can kind of ask for the information of what do I need to re-examine during this eclipse, and what maybe do I need to release, and what do I need to make more practical and bring down to earth.
I like that. Yeah. I'll start. Do me.
Yay. So let's just do a quick little grounding session. I may not get time to do this with every reading, but collectively, let's just take some nice deep cleansing breaths in. That new full moon energy, that eclipse energy, and just letting it touch the deepest parts of ourselves, the parts that are sometimes even hidden from ourselves. That's kind of what this lunar eclipse is bringing to light. And I want us to just let go of the day, let go of the week, shake off all of those other people's energy, all that stress, And just sink into your own energy, sink deep down into it. And let's also connect our energy down to the earth. So let's envision if we had energetic roots that we could extend from our bodies, and we're just going to plant them deep down in the earth, just like the roots of a tree. And we're just going to draw up all of that lovely grounding earth energy and letting the earth take a load off of it for us, letting the earth just support us and keep us stable right now. We do not have to do anything right now. And let's bring all of our energy all the way up through our chakras, all the way up through our bodies. And I want us to send it out the top of our heads. And we're just intending tonight that whatever is the best information to learn from this eclipse, that is what we'd like to know. All right. And I'm going to give the cards a few shuffles for you, Sharon, and then I will have you send your energy.
Okay.
Okay. All right. If you want to just send your energy and tell me when it feels good to stop shuffling.
All right. That feels good.
All righty. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm just taking this in. You got some interesting cards, and it's funny, when I did my own eclipse reading last night, I got the exact same starting card, which is Magician reversed.
Okay.
So you've got all reversals here, and let's not be surprised if we are talking about a lot of reversals tonight, because we're talking about what we need to maybe release or what we need to re-examine. So you're starting with the Magician reversed. This is one of the two cards that has that Mobius strip over the head. So this is signifying a very large energy, someone who can manifest great things, and who is kind of a jack of all trades in a sense. So the Magician has on his table the cup, the pentacle, the sword, and the wand, which are all the suits that are from the other side of the tarot deck. So the message is you have all the tools inside you need to do whatever you want. You may still be figuring them out. So when we have Magician reversed, it can almost take on a kind of like you're juggling all of these tools rather than being like, I am owning these tools. The tools are a little cumbersome at times, maybe, or maybe there's too many tools. We need to put some down. So your next card is Two of Pentacles reversed. Pentacles are that earth element. So that's going to be everything in physical life. So like job, money, home, people, places, things, whatever our craft is, whatever we're building in this physical world. And I love this card because it's this guy that's juggling, and you can see he's like, how long do I have to keep doing this before my ships come in? What's also cool is there's 3 Mobius strips in the tarot deck. One is this Magician card. The other one is over the Strength card, which I was just trying to see if it's on my wall here, but I think it's on the other side of the wall. But the Strength gal has another Mobius strip. This has the sneaky 3rd Mobius strip in it. So between those 2 balls that he's juggling, or those 2 pentacles. So when I look at these 2 in conjunction, it's kind of like, I have a lot going on. And I'm doing it all by myself because this is a 1, but I have a lot going on. And I'm juggling it all. And I have 2 Mobius strips in this reading showing me how strong I am and how much energy I have. But how long can we keep this up? And what do we maybe need to release and say, you know what? This was a great ideal that I wanted to do this, but maybe that doesn't need to be part of my practice, or maybe I can close the chapter on this and let's focus more on this because this is really booming right now. Or it makes me think of like when I started out and I was like, I'm going to learn Reiki and I'm going to learn astrology and I'm going to learn crystals and I'm going to learn, and then like 10 years later, you're like, are you learning that much by learning everything? Or should you learn like one thing? So that there's some of that energy of just kind of let's pull some things back, or let's focus on 3 things instead of 12 things. So, which I could give this reading to myself. It would be completely applicable for me as well. So your last card, which is the future card, and I say this one's always the most changeable because the future hasn't happened yet. So if we don't really like the card that we have here, or if we have a reverse card, which we do, we have time and we get a heads up from the universe to change it. So you've got 9 of Cups reversed. 9 is actually the Virgo number. So good move. So 9 is about integrity and independence. And independence could be associated with 1 or with 9. But with 1, it's much more like me, look at me. Like, look at this magician. He's very, look at me, boom, arm in the air. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
9 is an older and wiser number. It's been through some stuff. And so when it has independence, it's much more self-responsibility. And hey, you can't help me with this. Only I can deal with this. So, which I think you have a lot of integrity and independence. But with that said, if we're doing too much, or if we're doing too much by ourselves, maybe we need to delegate, maybe we need to hire an assistant, who knows, things like that, we're going to pour ourselves out. So when you have cups are water. So that's love, feelings, emotions, emotional health, emotional capacity, our fulfillment, our ability to give and receive love, our relationships, all of that mushy gushy stuff. And just the deepest parts of ourselves. And so when we have an upright cup, it could overflow with love, and we're feeling really good, and we don't need anybody's love. We're doing just fine. But if we're reversed, we may be giving more than we're receiving, or we may need to like just fill our own cup. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, or, you know, as healers, as psychics, as people that work in this field, boy, do we fill a lot of cups. And do we need to remember to take some me time and fill our own cups? And any little bit can help, but because we have got to keep recharging our own batteries if we're going to be able to keep healing people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Next month I'm going to spend a week at the coast, so that was it.
Yes.
But yeah, it all totally makes sense. Definitely.
Okay. Of
With
course.
what's going on. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're going to the beach. That's always, I think, the most healing thing that anyone can do.
Mm-hmm. By myself. Yeah. I do that twice a year. So
ooh,
I need it. Yeah.
What coast are you going to?
To Ocean Shores in Washington. I have a timeshare.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Who's first? Joe out. Joe. Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to Eclipse Tarot. What's next for you professionally? Okay. Alrighty. Let me just reset these cards for you. And let's just take some nice deep cleansing breaths and kind of focus on our own energy. And let's just ask the universe, what is the best information we can receive about what's next for you professionally? And if you can just send your energy to the cards for me, I will try and tune in and feel when it's a good time to stop shuffling for you. Okay, I feel like it's already happy. Let's see here. Okay, give me just a minute here. Well, you got all upright cards, so there's a lot of good information there, and we are still going to get some homework or validation a little bit, but it looks like you're going to figure it out and pass it with flying colors. So you're starting in the past. You have 10 of Swords, and so in tarot there's a lot of 1 through 10 because that would be like a chapter of your life. So 10 is the culmination of that chapter, or the full manifestation, or kind of mission accomplished. In this card, may have been a painful chapter, because we have what's known as the stabbed in the back card. So swords are the element of air. That is everything up here in the air, which is going to be our mentality, our communication. So are we able to speak our minds? Are we able to speak our truth? Do people listen to us? Do people respect us? Do we have a hard time saying no? Do we have a hard time telling people, hey, I have some needs and I need you to meet them? So when we have swords, also, you can think of those swords as like an action taker or decision maker, because you could take that sword and be like, charge, this is where I'm going, get out of my way. Or I'm going to draw a line in the sand and this is my boundary, so don't cross it. So when we have the stabbed in the back card, this can signify a period in the past where maybe you had less boundaries and as a result you got stabbed in the back. So it could be kind of like when you're trying to prove yourself professionally and then you're kind of a yes man, and yes, I can take that on and I can take on that extra work, and yes, boss, and whatever. And then you end up working 80 hours a week and kind of killing yourself or something like that. That could be a demonstration of getting stabbed in the back and needing to set boundaries with those swords that maybe wasn't happening in that chapter. So there's some element of that going on that I'm feeling in that card for you. The other thing that we have is his head is turned away. There's a large body of water behind us. So even though we're in swords and that's air, mentality, communication, actions, decisions, water is feelings and emotions. So this is saying what was kind of on the back burner was your own feelings or your own emotional health. Presently, you have 3 of Wands upright. 3 is the number of creation and creativity. So it looks like you're ready to kind of cook something up or create whatever your next chapter is going to be. So I don't know specifically what you're doing professionally next chapter, but I can tell you you're in a creative process right now where you're making some decisions. And this is the other waiting for my ships to come in on the horizon card. They're tiny, tiny little ships, but this is also a beautiful card because wands are fire. So that is your fire represents your pure energy, your motivation, your belief in yourself. What do you want to pour your energy into and what gives you energy back? It's what you're passionate about. So there's a lot of motivation in this card. So you're kind of like, I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm going to focus my energy and harness it to create what's going to be best for me and cause my ships to come in on the horizon. And then you're ending with Justice upright, which is amazing. So part of why this is amazing is because Justice is an 11 and 11 signifies your new chapter. So if you're looking for something new professionally, you have a new chapter coming up. The other thing is justice is justice, and she is going to make sure that everything is fair for ourselves going forward, or fair for you. Notice she has a sword, and we started with some really yucky swords stabbing us in the back. So this is saying going forward, you're going to call the shots more. You're going to set your boundaries much more clearly. You are not going to be in a position of having to prove yourself, which is what I feel was going on back here. You're going to make sure your new chapter is way better for you. And the other cool thing is when you have the 2 pillars in a tarot card, that signifies when I cross this threshold, I'm in kind of a new echelon of life. So this could be like I was a junior partner somewhere killing myself trying to prove myself to the boss, and going forward, I'm going to start my own firm and I will be the boss. So some energy like that where come on, you're in a throne. So like you're in some kind of position of authority and you're calling the shots and making sure things are going to be balanced and fair for you going forward. So I hope that helps you. But you got really positive upright and very big cards. You got a 10 and an 11 in there, and those are big numbers. So I think good things are ahead for you professionally.
Nice. It's a good reading. I mean, they're all good readings.
I think so too.
Right.
Not tooting my own horn, but just I love getting to do things.
Not a lot of homework. Okay.
No, I think he's going to figure it out.
Yeah. All right, let's see who's next. And he says, yes, I have Whoops.
Entrepreneurial energy. There you go.
Yeah, entrepreneurial energy surrounding him. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think it was Michelle. And then we'll get you, Christine. Yes. Okay, Michelle.
What do you need to focus on releasing? Hello, Michelle. Okay. Let me just reset the energy for you. Okay. And if you can just send your energy to the cards, Michelle, and we're just going to take a nice deep breath and let's just send that energy. What do I need to focus on releasing? Please give us that information, universe. And you just send that energy, and I will try and feel out when it is good to stop shuffling. I think you want one more. Let's see here. Alrighty. Let me just take this in here. Okay, so you've got some beautiful cards, and you do have a homework card in the future, but it's a really awesome homework card. So, and you're starting with this beautiful upright Empress. So the Empress is from the major arcana side of the deck. So these cards are those archetype cards where there's only 22 of them in the whole deck. So they have a much more potent, louder energy, or kind of the universe says this. So what this is saying is, so you have the Empress. This is the Divine Mother card. So Divine Mother energy is give, 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 and forever give. So she is wearing these beautiful flowing robes because she's supposed to be a little like the Mona Lisa, where I may be with child, under these long, suspicious gowns. She's got the beautiful female symbol here in the heart. And basically, she is giving of herself to make everything happen, to make that wheat grow, to make that water flow, to make the trees grow. She is giving, giving, giving. She is also a 3, which is that number of creation and creativity. So it looks to me like you have been giving, 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 and supporting other people for a really, really long time. Or maybe that's just inherent about your energy. And that's inherent with some of us empaths, or some of us people that are nurturers and caretakers. We cannot help it. So you have presently a card we just talked about, which is that stabbed in the back card. So 10 is the end of some kind of chapter, whether it's an actual chapter in life or kind of just the end of being a certain way. So 10 of swords, we're back to that air component, that air element, which is going to be mentality and communication. And so that has to do with, how do we express ourselves? How do we state our needs? Do we state our needs? Or are we always helping someone else's needs? Are we good at setting boundaries? Are we good at telling people no? Or are we always taking on, taking on, taking on? We even have the little stab in the back guy right here. I think he's really popular tonight, apparently. But so this is kind of I guess if you're asking what you need to let go of, it may be let go of taking care of people so much, or let go of being so darn supportive for other people and be more supportive for yourself. Because otherwise, we allow ourselves to get stabbed in the back a little bit, where we have spent all this time and energy, and then at the end of the chapter, where was our support? So this is saying, if we need to draw some lines, set some better boundaries, be comfortable with saying no, or change kind of our concept of how much we should give versus receive. Those are the things that are coming up in this card, is that we need to allow ourselves to just do better for ourselves and not let people stab us in the back. Stand up for yourself, or set some boundaries and be a little more assertive. Speak up for yourself. So your last card is 8 of Wands. And I love this card because this is the only card in tarot where there is no human element. So 8 is this strength number. If you think of that Mobius strip that we talked about earlier and some of Sharon's cards, that figure 8 is a sign that you are extremely strong in spirit. So wands are your spirit. They are the element of fire. So that represents your spirit, your will, your belief in yourself, your motivation for things, how much you pour your energy into things. So I am not surprised to see for someone who's this giving that you have this 8 of Wands. So when I look at it in context with everything and seeing that you have this reversed 8 of Wands, it's saying that you've been very, very strong in your energy, but mostly your motivation may have been for other people, to give that energy away to others. And your homework is to save that energy to do whatever you want. This card is literally the card that I call do what I want because these wands are flying across the sky because they can. The reason this card is so cool is because there's no human element. And basically these wands are full of their own energy and they self-animate and they fly across the sky. It's not because someone threw them. It's not because a witch enchanted them. They self-animate and take off in flight because they're like, we do what we want. So what you need to let go of is not allowing yourself that time or that energy and setting boundaries in place so that we can keep some of this energy to do what we want. So I hope that that makes sense to you, Michelle. And like I said, that is a very fun homework.
Nice. Okay, let's see who's next. Christine. Let's pick you. Christine. Where'd you go? Okay.
Hello, Christine.
We're picking in order.
There's no hogging of the cards. There's plenty of cards to go around. Okay. So let's see. Let's do this eclipse reading, Christine. Let's see what needs to come to the surface. What do we maybe need to view with a more practical Virgo lens, and what maybe do we need to re-examine and let go potentially? Oh, already got cards popping out. All right, Christine, let's go ahead and just take some nice deep cleansing breaths. And I want you to just intend and send your energy out to the universe. And we would like to know, what eclipse information do we need? What do we need to take a more practical view of, or what do we need to release? And just keep sending your energy, and I will get. Ooh, I think that feels nice. Okay. Give me just a moment here. Okay, so I find it very interesting that sometimes when we're like, let's do an eclipse reading, we get all reverse cards again because we are talking about the real stuff. If I have one soapbox to stand on, it's that we need these reversals with tarot because it tells us what's really going on. That's maybe not all the fun, pretty stuff. So you are starting here with the moon reversed, Christine. And the moon is about going through a very crazy time in your life where things are not as they seem. You kind of have to question everything, or kind of feels like you're feeling your way around in the dark, is kind of what happens in the moon. When the moon is upright, we can trust our instincts, and we can use the light of the moon. Even though things are dark, we've got the light of the moon to light the way. If we can kind of just surrender and let our eyes adjust to that moonlight, then we may be able to find our way on that, albeit confusing, journey. When the moon card is reversed, it takes on a little bit more of a quality of, you had to go through a very confusing chapter, and there was no moon to light the way. And you may still be feeling like you're feeling your way around in the dark and not quite sure where you're going. So I don't like that for you, but this is here to validate things for you regardless. That sometimes we go through a confusing chapter and we're like, is this confusing chapter over yet? Am I still in it? And how can I get out of it? And I love that we're doing eclipse readings and you got this moon card. So thank you for being on the nosy with that. So presently you have Ace of Pentacles reversed. So Ace is that new beginning. So, if we have a new chapter, we're going to start with an ace, obviously. And pentacles are the element of earth. So that's everything in our physical life. So that could be job, money, home, people, places, things, what we make and craft and do in the physical world, and just kind of our real lives here in a physical day-to-day sense. So this is saying, basically, because you've been going through this very confusing moon chapter, it's really hard to figure out how you will start your new chapter, or can I start a new chapter in the physical world? Which I understand, because this is very confusing. And we can't really, it feels like we can't tell if we're out of it or not yet. So I understand. So your future card and your homework card is Nine of Pentacles reversed. We want to flip that card upside down. Flip that frown upside down, Christine. So we've got Nine of Pentacles, and so we're still in that Pentacles aspect. So the element of earth, which is physical life, job, money, home, people, places, things, can have to do with things like our health, our bodies, our well-being in the real world sense. 9 is that number of integrity and independence. So 9 is that, hey, you can't help me with this. Only I can go take care of this myself. And when this card is upright, I call it the secret garden card, because there's this woman standing in her garden. She's got the wall behind her, and she's like, I don't need anything from anyone. I take care of myself just fine. So that's all well and good when the card is upright. When the card is reversed, it can feel more like I'm in this garden and I don't have everything I need, and it's out of reach over that wall. So this may feel a little rough, but what the message is that we need to make sure that we are doing what we can to advocate for ourselves and take care of ourselves first and foremost, having no guilt about whatever it is we need to do to take care of ourselves, prioritizing our well-being in the physical world, whether that is health-wise, monetary-wise, organizational-wise, need a new home, whatever it is. These are all pentacle things. So whatever it is, you got to focus on number one and know that you have the integrity and independence to do that. You're not focusing on number one in a negative, selfish way. This is a real practical way that needs to happen. You also had a pop-out card, which is strength, saying you are stronger than maybe you feel right now, or maybe where we don't have, I think like where we can't have energy in one area, we can have it in another. If we're lacking physical strength, maybe we're excelling in spiritual strength, things like that. And this is that other Mobius strip that I was talking about. So both you and Sharon have got Mobius strips going on over your heads tonight. And the strength card is an amazing card, because this is, it's not about strength. It's about strength. It's about strength of spirit. So there's this ferocious beast of a lion that's terrorizing this village, and nobody can tame the beast in this card. And then this beautiful maiden walks up and she's like, I got it. And she just shuts the lion's mouth with her bare hands like a boss, which is what's happening in this card. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And she was like, well, I knew that my spirit was strong and the beast would recognize that. So for all of these reversals that might be going on or that you might be feeling, you got this beautiful strength card popping out to remind you that you are really strong. So even if you may not feel that way right now, maybe having that extra oomph from the universe and reminder, and just remembering that it's not all about physical strength or what have you. It's about what's in here, and maybe that can help us move that energy where we need elsewhere.
Nice.
So
beautiful.
Focus on yourself and know that you are strong.
A little bit of homework there. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, I gotta get someone out of here. Block user. All right, so we have two Michelles here, and Michelle. Okay, Michelle Coleman. Yeah, Michelle Coleman. This is, I love my last card. I tend to be rigid and forget to have fun, so I will take my homework to heart. So Michelle, spelled the same, by the way, with one L. Michelle McGuire also resonated with the reading.
That's awesome. I love when that happens, and that's absolutely perfect.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, got a twofer. Buy one,
Right,
get one free.
twofer.
Buy one, get one free Michelle tarot reading.
There you go. All right, let's see who's next. Becoming authentically you, I think is next.
Okay.
Find that person. Okay, there we go.
Alrighty. Becoming authentically you. What a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should all be that.
Aspire to that, yes. Be that, totally. We don't have to aspire, just be that.
No, be.
Just be that.
Alrighty. So let's just take a nice deep cleansing breath and shake off that excess energy. And let's just intend our energy out to the universe. And we would like to know, what is the eclipse message going on for becoming authentically you? Ooh, I love how that sounds.
It just rolls, doesn't it?
Yep. And just send your energy to the cards here, becoming authentically you. And I will authentically try to intuit where we should stop shuffling. Okay. Alrighty, give me just a moment here. Okay. I love that you got two reversals to start, and then you're ending with an upright. So homework is going to be a mission accomplished no matter what. It's not going to be really an issue for you. But you're also ending with the Virgo card, which is the Hermit. So very on brand with our full moon and lunar eclipse in Virgo. So we will learn more about that card in just a moment here. So we're starting here with 7 of Cups reversed. Cups are that element of water, so that's going to be everything centered in our hearts. So love, feelings, emotions, emotional capacity, emotional strength, emotional health, our relationships, our fulfillment. And this is what's known as the too many choices card. So 7s are notoriously a challenge number, but 7 can be a very cool number. We can get magical mystery number 7, we can get lucky number 7, or we can get this curveball challenge number 7. So the 7s typically show us a curveball in tarot. And this guy's curveball is he has too many choices. Which one do I want to pick? They all kind of look interesting, or like they might be something I want, but we've got jewels in one, we've got a snake in another. So the challenge is, which one do I pick? When this card is reversed, it kind of takes on a quality of I'm doing all these different things, or I'm giving to all these different places. And when we have an upright cup, of course, we can overflow with love and good feelings. But when we've got reverse cups, we're giving everything we got all the time. Give, 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 give. And doing everything because of the love. It seems like you do everything because of the love. And I think that is kind of ingrained in your name, becoming authentically you, is that we do things for love. So part of what it makes me say that is because when I go to your next card, you're the King of Cups reversed. So King is the most manifested. So if we've got 1 through 10, and 10 is kind of the full manifestation of that chapter. After that, we have Page, Knight, Queen, King. So King is like, you can't get higher than the King. So King of Cups upright is going to be this kind of loving leadership energy, loving father kind of energy. We've got this male energy of kind of putting myself out there in a public sense. But in the reversal, it's going to be, I gave too much, or kind of instead of being the king of giving just the right amount, we become the king of giving everything away and giving too much. So just to recap, wow, like that's a lot of giving, and that's a lot of love. That is absolutely a lot of love. There's good reasons that you're giving this love, but now we need to figure out how can we give what we're giving without it being draining to us, or so that we can keep some cups upright for ourselves, because we need to put gas in our own tanks. We need to refill ourselves, replenish ourselves. I get very much a healer vibe from you. So us healers are constantly giving too much, and we want to do good and we want to put good out in the world, but we've got to put it back into ourselves to be able to keep doing what we're doing. So your last card is the Hermit, and this is pretty much like exactly what all of us healers need to do is go be the Hermit. So the Hermit is, this is actually the Fool in this card. The Fool becomes the Hermit, and the Fool realizes that to get where he wants to go, he needs to lighten his load. So he is going to take this lantern and shine it to all the dark corners of his mind, all the dark corners of his heart, and figure out, what issues did I put away there years ago that I need to kind of bring out into the light and re-examine? So if you're someone who's giving a lot and giving everything you have, it's time to go on a little healing mission and figure out, why am I doing the things I do? And can I do it in a way that's not detrimental to myself? And how can I incorporate not just giving, but maybe I need to learn how to receive, which I think is something that a lot of healer people have kind of an aversion to, in a sense, is that we would much rather do the giving than the receiving. So 9 is that integrity and independence number. So that means, hey, you can't help me with this. Only I can go do this. So this is encouraging you to take some me time and go authentically heal yourself. Go authentically figure out, do I have to keep giving this much, or is there a way that I can love smarter, not harder, and not give to the point of depletion, so that I can be this king instead of this king. So your homework is this me time, this beautiful healing solo mission, and learning how to work with those cups a little better. What's the right amount to give? What's the right amount to keep or expect back? So I hope that helps you becoming authentically you. I think that is a really great message for actually a lot of us right now. So
All right. Let's see who's next here. Looks like Leah. Oh, and then Celtic not. I will do you after. I will. We will do you afterwards. Sorry, I missed you there.
okay, Leah, let me just reset these cards for you. Okay, and let's go ahead and just take some nice deep cleansing breaths. And if you can just send your energy to the cards, and we would just like to know whatever is the best eclipse information to know tonight from the universe and from that beautiful lunar eclipse. And I will try and feel where we should stop here. One more. Okay. Man, we are on a roll where all these readings are ending with a 9, which is the Virgo number. I love when the tarot cards really know what day it is. So,
Right.
let me see here, Leah. Okay. All right. We've got in the past King of Swords reversed. So swords are that element of air. So that's going to be everything up here in the air, which is mentality, communication, and that action taker, decision maker. So that sword could be the thing that we're charging into battle and saying, charge, get out of my way, or how we're going to set those boundaries and draw those lines in the sand. You're starting as the king. So you're the fullest manifested that we can get in swords. So if this card was upright, King of Swords is going to be a great leader who is always clearly communicates and takes his time to really find his right words and make sure everybody understands things. He's very diplomatic, well thought out processes, and if he's upright, then everything runs smoothly. Everyone listens to him, and he's in charge. But when we have a reversed king, instead of that king sitting in that throne now kind of starts crushing him. So instead of being respected for all that he's in charge of, he is kind of run ragged. So this can show up when we're in charge of too many things and it's hard to keep track of it all, or when we just have too many obligations, responsibilities, or we're getting pulled in a million different directions. But it looks like when you're the king reversed of swords, it's kind of like, I'm the king of too many things, the king of doing too many things, or kind of not getting to carve out my own time because I'm being pulled in so many different directions. This can also show up when we're in charge of a lot, but maybe there's not a lot of respect going with it, or maybe not a lot of thanks. Or it's kind of like when we say we're getting a promotion, but we got a whole bunch of more responsibilities, but not a raise. So those are all kind of the feelings or the gist that come up in that King of Swords reversed. So presently you have Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles are the element of earth, so that's everything in physical life. So that's going to be job, money, home, people, places, things, our responsibilities, how we carve out our place in the real world here. And knights are on horseback. When we, think of the progression, you've got 1 through 10, and then you've got page, knight, queen, and king. So queens and kings, are more fully manifested. Page and knight are more the child and the teenager of tarot. So I refer to the knights as the teenagers of tarot. Part of it is because they're on horseback. So my joke is they could be like, I hate you, mom and dad, I'm out of here. And then they can ride away. But basically, knights are going for it. Knights are in movement. They are in progress because they have a mode of transportation. So even though we were maybe getting crushed by all of our obligations and duties and responsibilities over here when we were King of Swords reverse, presently, we're trying to move in the physical world. So if this is, I need to get a new job because that last job was piling way too much stuff on me and making me feel like King of Swords reverse, this is, I'm trying to find a new job. I'm trying to carve out a new place for myself. But this is also an indication that you're an extremely hard worker. When we have Knight of Pentacles, it kind of takes on that I can run laps around other people quality. So put these two together, no wonder you maybe had a lot of things piled on your plate. So your last card is an upright 9 of Swords. So this is great news because it looks to me like you're figuring out how to use your swords a bit more. So if that means I need to learn how to set boundaries, I need to learn how to tell people no, I need to cut some people out of my life potentially, you're going to do that up here for the betterment of you. With that said, this guy looks stressed out. And that is because he's a 9. And what is 9? Integrity and independence. 9 has so much integrity, they really have a hard time setting boundaries. As 9 energy, you know, when we get that in the mix, we want to always be there for people, or we want to always do what we said we were going to do. We don't want to fail people. And we get kind of burned by that integrity and independence sometimes. So this guy may be stressed out, but the lesson is we need to not have guilt if we set these boundaries that we need to. So it looks like you're riding away from something that's not serving you, and you should feel no guilt about that. And as we go into our new chapter that we're carving out, it is wise to look out for yourself in that 9 kind of way and say, hey, this is as much as I can do, and that's it. I'm not letting you turn me into this again. So I think you're going to figure out how to use your swords, and it may be a new place because 9 is integrity and independence. There may not be a lot of people around to help us, but we've got to stick up for ourselves. So I hope that makes all the sense to you, Leah. But pick up those swords. Don't be afraid to use them.
Nice. All right. Have some feedback here from Becoming Authentically You. Let's see here.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I am a fellow survivor of a narcissistic abusive relationship. So yes, I love that. That's amazing. Wow.
Just wrote a book. Congratulations, From Pain to Power, Escaping Narcissistic Abuse and Toxic Relationship. Therapist and healer. Yeah. And
congrats
good
on
for
your
you.
book.
Yeah, totally. Congratulations. I know how hard that is. There was another one. Oh, wait. You had another comments here.
Mm.
Recently because I did not feel prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
So my lesson has been ending relationships of all types sooner. Currently doing inner work and focusing on my purpose and spirituality. Good for you.
That's exactly what that hermit card is, which I think was the one that you got.
Yeah, spot on.
Perfect.
Good. Okay, so give you a little bit of break. Michelle Coleman had some comments here. Let's see here. That was spot on, Holly. Thank you. I just had an incident with a friend that made me realize I need to work on setting boundaries. Mm-hmm. And I love my last card. I tend to be rigid and forget to have fun, so I will take my homework to heart.
Yes, that's the best homework is go do what I want.
Right? Also, once I'm done with all my homework, I would love to learn about the full journey, or the fool's journey, I think she was saying, from you in one of your classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've actually got some class opportunities coming up in person, and we'll have some more online later this year as well.
Yes, and you can talk about that. You're going to be at the Ghost Conference, right?
Yes, I'm going to be at the Oregon Ghost Conference, 13th annual, which is an event I've done every year. It's put on by my good friend Rocky L. Smith Jr., who runs Northwest Ghost Tours and does all kinds of haunted history, really excellent ghost tours in Oregon City. And that's our hometown. And then he puts on this amazing ghost conference every year. So that's going to be March 21st through the 23rd out at the Seaside Convention Center. So you get to go to the beach as well, which is always, I think, the best thing possible. And anytime you have that huge body of water there, it really just makes all of this woo-woo stuff, I think, better. So, but yeah, it's an amazing event that has just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. They have guest mediums. I think they have Sarah Lamos this year that's going to be doing gallery readings. And she's been on all the Travel Channel shows. And she's a fellow Oregonian, so that's cool. But you can take all kinds of any class, psychic development classes, pendulum classes, ghost hunting classes. And I will be teaching 3 classes there this year myself. So I have multiple options. I've got a beginner's tarot class on, let's see, I wrote down my dates so I don't get confused. I got beginner's tarot Saturday morning on March 22nd at the Oregon Ghost Conference. And that's going to be 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. And that will be covering the entire minor arcana. I will also have some additional literature available if you take my class and want to purchase my Fool's Journey Through Life so you can learn the major side of the arcana. You can also do that. And I will be teaching that same beginner's class also on Sunday, also at 9:30 in the morning. And then I'll be doing an advanced tarot class Sunday, the 23rd from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. And this is a really cool class that I've designed for people who know how to work with the cards, but just want to get their feet wet more with putting it together in the readings. And so it's a class where I've designed, you get to practice on my case studies. So actual readings I have given, I will give you the cards that I got, and we'll see what you come up with and see if you got the same information I did. And usually there is a great Venn diagram similarity that happens. The Ghost Conference sounds like a good place to start having fun. Oh my gosh, Michelle, yes, you should totally come. I can't recommend it enough for fun, especially in this fun realm of psychic stuff and ghost stuff. Like, you will make so many fellow nerd friends. I promise. But
yes, I've been there a couple times. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger every year too.
Yeah, they have like at least 80 vendors. You can buy witch supplies, you can buy crystals, you can buy cool Ouija board stuff. They have multiple healers and practitioners. I think Aura About You is going to be there again this year, probably doing aura photography. We've got numerous fellow tarot readers and psychics and mediums, and then tons of classes, all day guest speakers. And then you can buy tickets for things like the gallery readings and tickets for actual ghost hunts also in Seaside. So they do one at the Masonic Lodge. They do one at the Bridge Tender Tavern. But yeah, you can really, it's like a 3-day long, no sleep till Brooklyn kind of event. And then the other thing I'm going to do this year for the second year in a row at Ghost Conference is on Saturday, the 22nd, I'm going to do my second annual event that I call Spillin' the Tea on Tarot, which is a very unique, one-of-a-kind event where it's going to be at the Starry Night Inn, which is a beautiful little bed and breakfast in Seaside that's also a little historic and I think a little haunted. I think they do some ghost hunts there as well. So they do a beautiful tea service where they make custom tarot themed tea blends, and you get to go and make your own tea. And then I will regale you with very interesting, jaw-dropping tarot stories, basically. So
Cool.
last year, I think I told a lot of very spilling the tea indeed kind of stories where there is a little bit more some naughty stuff, some gossipy stuff, and just really interesting stuff that's happened during tarot readings, which of course all identities are protected, but it's a very interesting life as a tarot reader. So I've got some really good stories. This year I'm doing all new stories. So if anybody came to that event last year, I'm going to have all new stories this year. And the stories this year are actually going to be more in line with the Ghost Conference because they are all going to be focused on death. So it's going to be a couple of stories about people that I gave readings to who then are no longer part of this earth. But the very, very interesting ways that death appears in a tarot reading, which, surprise, does not just show up as the death card. That would make it too easy, right? So yeah, very, very interesting stuff that I'm excited to share. And that's a very limited event. So if you're interested in that, get your tickets.
Awesome. Okay. So I'll put all that down in the details.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So who's next? Celtic
You
Knot.
had another one you were trying to find,
That,
right?
that was
Was that?
her. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
Hopefully you are here, still here, Celtic Knot. If you are here, please give us a thumbs up or something. And I think we have a couple more
Okay.
after that.
Alrighty. Let me just reset these cards for us. Okay, Celtic Nuts. Let's just take some nice deep cleansing breaths. And we're going to just exhale
Okay.
and out to
She's
the
here.
universe. Perfect. And we're just going to intend out to the universe whatever's the best eclipse information that we can get tonight. That's what we'd like to know. And just send your energy to the cards, please. Okay. I feel like you want one more. Okay. Whew. They're just popping out. Okay, give me just a moment here. Okay, so as we're asking kind of what's our eclipse message or what's kind of the more practical version of what we need to learn, it looks like you've already been getting into this, whatever it may be. So you're starting with 5 of Pentacles upright. Pentacles are that earth aspect, so that's going to be everything in physical life. So that can be job, money, home, people, places, things, responsibilities, and everything that's in real life. And I always say there's that chapter of life in tarot, that 1 through 10, with 10 kind of being the full manifestation or the mission accomplished. So 5 is smack dab in the middle of that 1 through 10. So 5 is often the change point. So it's kind of like, here's 10, and you're like, I'm going to go to 10. I'm going to go to 10. And you get to 5, and you're like, whoa, I'm going to find a new way to get to 10, or maybe a new 10 to get to altogether. So in this card, I call this card Don't Forget to Ask for Help, because these two people are out in the cold. They look a little destitute and like they could use some help. And they are passing a church window, which theoretically they could go inside that church and maybe get some food, some shelter, some protection from the elements, if only they can look up and recognize, oh, that's where we can ask for help. So this is kind of saying that in the past, there may have been some changes going on in the physical world, and it may have been hard to navigate. Where am I going to get the help I need? Presently, and I don't get super married to past, present, future, because the present may also be kind of already something we've been going through, or more aligned with the past. So we have, again, this Virgo card popping up of the Hermit. We've got Hermit reverse this time. So as Hermit is about taking that kind of that integrity and independence 9 quality me time, which he's doing in this card. You know, it's about going on this healing solo mission. Only we can heal ourselves. That is total 9 energy. You can't do this for me. Only I can go do this. That's totally the Hermit upright. So when we have Hermit reversed, it can be that maybe you didn't get to take that time. Maybe you didn't get to take that time to do whatever healing you needed to, because it looks like you may have been going through a bit of a rough time or a lot of upheaval already. So that kind of sometimes means we don't get that me time that we need, or that downtime, that introspective chill time, or that healing time. So regardless of that, your last card is really awesome and upright. So you're ending with, boom, King of Wands. So this is a very big shift. King of Wands is full manifestation because he's the king. So you can't get higher than the king. Wands is our fire. So our fire is, my cliff notes for fire in tarot is what fires you up. What is the fire in your belly? So fire relates to your spirit, your will, your drive, your motivation. What do I want to pour my energy into, and what is going to give me that energy back? What am I passionate about? So when I look at this all together, you've been going through some kind of hardship here in the past, or some big changes, upheaval, maybe has led to, after that, not getting to have that me time or that healing time. And kind of, when 9 is reversed also, instead of being integrity and independence and like, hey, I got this, it's like, oh, all of this is on my shoulders and there's no one here to help. So this is a rough go, it looks like, for where you've been in the past here. So this is a sight for sore eyes. This is saying everything ends up just gravy, no worries, and you have full energy now to do what you want and to accomplish what you want. King is like accomplishment. This can be, I achieved something, I am now in a leadership position somehow, or I am very much in charge of my life, versus here, maybe I did not feel as in charge of things as they were. So this is great. So whatever lessons have needed to be learned from this eclipse, I think you've already been working on, and you're about to manifest big time what you've been working on. So if you've been in a struggle or not having the energy, this looks like you don't have a lot of energy that has been going on before. This is beautiful. So this is good news. Also, this is going to be like the summer card. So this could also be an indication that you're going to have a great summer. Things are going to improve maybe with those summer months. But I'm very happy for whatever is working out. It's coming up sunshine for you. And like you get to be in charge of things again.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Next is Soul Child. Let me find. There we go.
Okay. Hello, Soul Child. You are not too late for a reading. Alrighty, let me just reset these cards for you. And let's go ahead and just take a nice deep cleansing breath. And let us just send our energy up to the universe. And we would like to know what is the best eclipse information for us to hear tonight. And you just go ahead and send your energy to these cards, please. I will shuffle for you. One more time here. Okay. Wow. This is a great reading. This is a very, very, very great reading. So first of all of your cards are upright. So good job. You must have already been working on whatever you needed to learn in this eclipse. So it looks like what's being revealed to you is a nice pat on the back from the universe and a sign of good things to come. So you are starting and ending this reading both with 3s. And so 3 is that number of creation and creativity. So it's kind of like if I take energy 1 and energy 2 and mix them together, I can make energy 3. And that's a new creation, something great that I'm going to manifest for my life, and kind of taking charge of how we're carving out this path, how we're carving out this chapter for ourselves. Carve indeed, because you're starting with 3 of swords. So this is the only other card in tarot that's kind of like that 8 of Wands card where there's not a lot of human stuff going on, but this does have a nice big heart. So there is still a bit of a human element. But 3 of Swords, we've got 3 swords piercing a heart against a rainy day backdrop. So we can create fun and happy things, and sometimes the things we have to create are not so fun and happy, or we got to make some tough choices. And this is kind of one of those tough choices cards, where what we need to create might be, I've got to end something, I've got to end a chapter with someone, I maybe have to cut someone out of my life, I maybe have to set a boundary that I haven't set before. And those things can be painful. This is kind of having to make some painful decisions, or making some decision that might hurt someone, but is probably the best for ourselves. So not all creations are going to be with a backdrop of sunshine and roses, but your card is upright, saying that even though this might have been a painful thing to choose or to create or to carve out, you did the right thing because your card is upright. Which leads us to an upright Ace of Cups. So Ace of Cups, cups are that element of water. So that's love, feelings, emotions, emotional health, emotional strength, our ability to give and receive love, all of that. And Ace is going to be this beautiful new beginning. So it looks like something had to get cut over here in the past. And that has led us to this beautiful new beginning, where we get to feel really good about things. One is also about looking out for number one, which we need to do. Like we forget to look out for ourselves, or we're tending to everybody else's needs. So this looks like you're setting some boundaries that needed to be set, and now you get to focus on yourself and making yourself feel good and loving yourself and all kinds of good new feelings, and taking care of yourself, and just everything that comes with this, which is all good stuff. Giving yourself credit, giving yourself love, enjoying yourself, appreciating yourself, making sure you feel good, taking care of yourself. That's all of this stuff in this Ace of Cups. So you have some beautiful new beginning going on. And then you're ending with Three of Cups. So you've got that three sandwich, because we started here. So we start with a three, a painful looking three, and then we end with a really happy, fun looking three, which is the card that I call Ladies' Night, because this is three chicks dancing and drinking wine, presumably, and their cups overfloweth with love. You know, if we had not set these boundaries, whatever they were, our cups would be reversed. We would still be giving too much away and not really taking care of ourselves. So to me, it looks like this reading is you made some hard decisions or set some boundaries. That's leading to you being able to take care of yourself more. And then because of that, you get to create new, fun, happy, good memories, good feelings, good friends, all of the above coming up. This is a very like hot girl summer type of card. We're going to have fun this summer. We're going to be making friends. We're going to be creating things that like make us feel good, whatever they are. So it looks to me like what you have been working on releasing in this eclipse cycle is releasing whatever boundaries we didn't have before, and releasing whatever we were taking care of before that wasn't ourselves. And you're doing fantastically, and you have really fun, happy, good feeling cards. So congrats, soul child. I think, you know, some of us have that best reading of the night, and it might be you tonight.
Looks like it,
I don't
doesn't
mean
it?
best, I just mean happiest.
Right. And that's a good way to end the readings. Let's see. Celtic Knot has some feedback here. I've had an extremely hard life. I took on a lot this lifetime. I have definitely been working on my spiritual path. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then thank you for the confirmation that all the hard work will be paying off. I had a psychic tell me this will be my last lifetime on earth. Yeah, good for you. I think a lot of us are this is our last lifetime in this realm, at least in this 3D realm.
Mm-hmm.
We did a lot of us took on a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, this time around, so that we could clear it once and for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a psychic tell me that I was off duty a long time ago, but I just keep coming back. I'm like, that
I
sounds like
can kind of
depression.
relate to that. It's like, these that spiritual warrior thing is like, okay, I don't want to sit this one out.
No,
Especially now, what's going on
no.
now, right?
Yeah,
It's
we
it's
we
hard
need
to
to be here.
we can't sit it out and
No,
watch everyone have all the fun.
no, no. I remember watching this stand-up comedy thing a few years ago that was joking about, like, you know, as I'm sure people are like, man, it's looking a little Armageddon-y out there sometimes right now. And I remember this comic, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Patton Oswalt, was like, do you think in heaven, like, there's a VIP section for people that died in, like, the apocalypse?
Oh, yeah, right?
But I just always like crack up when I'm like, I wonder when things
Well,
look
yeah,
crazy
I think
out there.
we get extra street cred for doing this, for being here.
Yes,
Definitely.
I think so. I think
We
so.
have to.
During a very intense time. Yeah, we lived through the end of the Mayan calendar already, so, or I guess not
Mhm.
really the end, but the apex. So
Yeah, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so we get lots of gold stars.
yes,
All of us, all of us.
yes. All of
Totally.
us who are present on Earth at this time.
Yeah, we do, because it's a pivotal time. It's huge, huge. Earth
Yep.
will never go through this ever again. What we're going through right now, it will never happen again with what we're dealing with, or what we're going through. It's exciting. It really is.
Yeah, and we need to be very conscious of what we're manifesting and where our thoughts are and our beliefs and our, make sure everything is good inside and outside so that as we're creating all of this together, we make it good.
Hmm. Right. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
Okay, everyone. Thank you, Holly. That was awesome. I will put the link to the Oregon Ghost Conference down in the details. I pulled it up, and I just need to do it afterwards.
Oh, perfect.
And
Thank you.
yeah, so you can, for anyone, it's local
Yeah.
on
Anyone
the
in
on the
Oregon,
coast.
out in Seaside.
Hmm.
Yep.
You won't
Good,
regret it,
good
even if
excuse
it's a
for
little
the
bit of
week.
drive, Christine. So
Yeah. No, if you come find me. I'll have a tarot booth that I will be at sporadically when I'm not doing all those other events.
right.
Yep.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you again next time. Thank you, Holly. This
Thank
was fun
you.
as usual.
Happy eclipse, everybody.
Yes. Happy